Everything is locked in the display case.
I used to work for a national office supply store 15 years ago in the technology department for the afternoon shift. The way it worked was that the guy working mornings usually received the freight and would sort what could be placed directly on the shelf, and what stuff needed to go into locked areas, along with separating tech stuff from other office stuff. USB thumb drives at the time were like brand new. And I remember a 1 GB costs like $100. So stuff like that gets put in the locked display case. Usually by the time I got there, he was more than halfway done placing inventory where it needed to go. The first stuff to get put away was expensive items that needed to get locked up so a customer with sticky fingers wouldn't walk off with it. Anywho, morning guy quit and the store manager told me I was now responsible for his job and my job. I really gave it a go for about a week, hoping the manager would either hop in and help or they would have a replacement soon enough. Needless to say, it was total chaos and an impossible job. When we would leave at night, stuff just kept on accumulating from the previous days, along with empty shelves. Then I got told that they hadn't even posted a job announcement and that they were not hiring a replacement. It was just me. Not okay. To make things worse, the manager has scolded me that there is stuff in boxes I haven't even had time to open that are out on the floor in the cart I used to transport that should have been locked away hours ago, because somehow I'm a superhero and can do this even faster than when 2 employees are doing the job. Cue malicious compliance. I don't have time to sort out what needs to go where. So I open up that glass display case and just start chucking stuff in. Bic number 2 mechanical pencils? Yup. Right next to those $100 thumb drives. Post-it notes? Yup. Right next to that $1,000 Canon Rebel digital camera. Whiteout naturally goes on top of the boxes for those expensive laptops in the case. I filled the display case to the brim and was only barely able to get the doors to slide closed and locked. Then I go on break. Manager has now noticed this problem and is lava level mad. I tell him everything is locked up just like he asked. And I tell him that unless he plans on hiring another employee, I wouldn't be working there anymore. We had another guy hired in 2 days. Funny how managers' attitude changes when they have to start doing the work. They can't steal anything if it's all locked away. Problem solved. You should have just recommended a bigger case instead of a new coworker. Mentioning the expensive thumb drive helped me recall my super cool, brand new 16 MB PlayStation memory cards that I picked up when they came out. Technology's progress is amazing. My aunt gave me a 64 megabytes drive back when all my peers were using floppies. It wasn't $100, but it was cool. As I recall, the most shoplifted item was the 30-pack of DVD-RW that went for $75. Those were not locked up and were always disappearing. I was an 80s computer whiz kid, and at age 19 was hired by a chain electronics retailer that did stereos, home theater, cameras, microwaves, etc. to run a computer department. They had a guy from HQ set things up, then they brought me on board a few weeks later to run it from there. It was a 7-day operation, so they also hired a guy of similar age to be the second guy on Fridays. And to work Sun. HQ floating manager guy was there to handle when people needed to go on leave. They sent me on their sales training courses and I had a pretty good grip on what people wanted. Things were off to a great start. Sales increased steadily at a rate that pleased the store manager and the HQ people. Then the weekend guy picked up other commitments, uni IIRC, and needed to drop Fridays. That meant I had to deal with the busiest day by myself. Then he wanted to drop Saturdays too. which meant that my working week jumped from 5 to 6 days. I was young and making decent enough money. I got paid for the extra hours and more commission, so I lumped it. Then he quit altogether. I asked about his replacement. There wouldn't be one. Less than surprised Pikachu. I can't work 7 days a week. We'll just get the other salesmen, who are pushy box movers in their 40s who know how to sell a stereo or microwave but couldn't turn a computer on to cover on Sundays. Sure enough, it wasn't many weeks before I was asked to also do Sundays. Just for a while. A month of working 7 days a week later, I advised the store manager verbally and the computer manager via email that I would be taking off the weekend of XXX for a family vacation. On Friday evening, I made a point of saying to the store manager, "Okay, I'm off camping. See you on Monday," and he acknowledged. I got in on Monday morning to find a very pissed off computing manager already on premises, waiting to pounce on me. He got stuck into me for abandoning them. Worse. Without notice. Blah blah. You're fired. Sure. Whatever you say, mate. War. War nave. Retail. Retail never changes.
Zip drives FTW.
$100 for a gig of memory is the most insane part of this story. If I had a time machine, apparently all I'd need to do is go back a few years and sell cheap USBs for massive profit. My first computer was a 286 and it had a huge 10 megabyte hard drive running Windows 3.0. Tell me you work at Staples without saying it, lol. Great story. Hats off to you. My first HD was a 10 megabytes that we paid $1,800 for. It was installed in an IBM 8084 with 64K of memory because Bill Gates said you'd never need more. Rolling on the floor, laughing tears of joy, rolling on the floor, laughing tears of joy. That was in 1985. One time I did a sting on a store. Let's call it Balbitson's, and they had a self-service display of cigarettes, which is illegal in ID if less than 80% of your sales are tobacco. Well, I was able to grab cigarettes off the display case and they got into trouble for it. FDA badges out and everything. It was not a good day for that store. Always lock your display cases. iOmega zip drives had 3x100 megabytes ones with an external drive. Nothing was more satisfying than 1. Turn off computer. 2. Connect the external drive to the parallel port. 3. Turn on the computer. 4. Install the driver's software to recognize the iOmega. 5. Reboot if necessary and hope for no BSOD. 6. Enjoy 2 to 3 hours of wait to store some MP3 to 3 zip floppies. What a good time it was. Around 1984 or 1985, I bought one single floppy disk for $7 to use in the school library computer. I worked for a tech retail store and I remember selling 8 MB thumb drives for $20. Walmart was weird. I guess it took loss prevention and management a while to get their act together. But I remember USB drives were unlocked in the store and $50 TP $100. A few months later they were locked up and they were $10. Why don't the managers work? I paid $160 for a 128 MB USB when I started uni. Open mouth smile, open mouth smile. Good post, but please, don't use the infantile, anywho. Makes it very hard to take you seriously.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.